Hello guys, this one is long awaited. I've been actually collecting pictures and trying to figure out which are the right pictures to sort of put together and show you how the Z6II has actually improved in terms of color performance, especially on skin tone over the Z6. And I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison of quite a few different pictures. Some pictures are of me, someone has taken it. I have taken a few pictures of other people, and the focus in this video is mostly going to be color, white balance, skin tones and tonality, and not so much, let's say, nature and landscape pictures. Yes, but in the process you'll also get to know how the yellows are rendered, how pinks and reds are rendered, and how the green looks. So these things are also going to be you can say, byproduct understanding of looking at the pictures and trying to understand how the skin tone is rendered differently. Remember, I'm in India, so my subjects are mostly Indians, so of brownish skin tone. But I think you will be able to have a fair understanding of how the rendition is different. I'm very excited to tell you in short that the Z6II is better. Let me just start with showing a few pictures and see how they compare. So we are in Lightroom. Now we're looking at two pictures taken, one from the Z6 and the other one from the Z6II, both at the same settings. This is Z6, this is Z6II. Both at the same settings, both at the same white balance 5500 Kelvin. This is shot with the 50mm Z lens. This is shot with the 35mm Z lens, both 1.8. And you know that the same lighting shot within a few minutes of each other. So you can clearly see there's a difference in how at the same white balance the pictures come out. Now let's look at the significant difference. For me is really how the skin is rendered, skin color is rendered. Now as you can see clearly on the Z6, you can see a bit more yellow in tone, a bit more green in the tones, and here I can see the greens are gone. There's no green in this. I mean, there's nothing perceptibly green in this. I can see that a little bit here in the Z6. This is more toward the pink. You can see that the pink and the red is more accentuated here on the lip, also the tip of the nose. I think this difference is going to be more pronounced if you compare the skin color of white skin, or I think skin that's even fairer. I think because of the more neutral color of the skin, you'll see the tone, which is green and yellow, play out more in Z6, and this pinkish reddish sort of thing will play out more on the Z6II. So this is for me significantly different, and I clearly prefer this look because it's a better base to start working with. I shoot a lot of JPEGs and I want to do a little bit of touch up on the JPEGs. This is a much better thing to start working on. I also think it's a lot more flattering, especially for women. I think what the Z6II does is a lot more flattering. It's slightly more glamorous according to me because the reds are more accentuated. So yeah, that's just one example. We'll look at more examples now. If you see there's a pink line on the shirt here, right? This is Z6II. It doesn't have that many megapixels, but as you can see, there's a line here, and that line is more perceptible here. This pink line on the blue shirt is more perceptible here on Z6II than on the Z6. It's clearly more perceptible, and that tells me that this picture is clearer. This picture is more vibrant. I like the skin tone here. I like how the finer detail is coming out better on the Z6II, and I like how different colors are sort of rendered differently. There is, colors are getting mixed because it's kind of coming at the limit of its resolving power with this sensor, but yet I can observe this line here more clearly than what I can see on the Z6. So that again, and this is just a JPEG, this is not a raw file. So that tells me that the Z6II is clearly performing better, much better in terms of color production, detail, in fact, and how the colors are separated from each other, because that's the colors are not merging together. That's a great, very interesting observation for me. Now let's look at another one. Now again, the Z6II is on the right. You can clearly see at the first glance that the Z6II, the colors are more vibrant. They are the same exposure. As you can see, this is 50 mm. The Z6 was shot at the 35 mm again. Now direct sunlight, and also it's again both at 5500 Kelvin. Now as you can see clearly, the same picture profile, again it's shot at standard picture profile. Now as you can clearly see that let's look at, okay, I zoomed in a bit too much. Let's look at how the skin is rendered. Now I think there was a bit of either a bit more blur, or maybe it's because it's a 50 mm. I think the nose area is a bit more out of focus compared to compared to the depth of field on the 35 mm, because I can see a bit more detail on the forehead and on the eyes as well compared to this one on the Z6II. I think the skin is looking duller here. Now I don't see the yellow tone here so much, but I do see that the yellow is more vibrant here than on here. I feel that there's somehow a bit more green in this yellow than in this yellow. The green here is more separated from the yellow but is more vibrant. Here the green is a bit more muddied somehow. The red here is more vibrant, almost like there's a tinge of orange in the red. I think the red color is rendered prettier on the Z6II. It perhaps could be a less accurate red, but it's a more pleasing red. What I mean by that is I see a bit sort of an orangey sort of a tone in the red that's coming out. Having said that, the real color of this scarf was the red area, especially was somewhere between these two, but it's more towards the Z6II color than towards the Z6. And she in real life, her skin in real life definitely is a bit more like this than this. This is like soil color. I don't know how to describe this. This tone here is not how she actually looks. It's more like this, and it's more pleasing at the same time. It's more alive, more vibrant. You can see the smile in her eyes in both the pictures, but somehow the smile goes more with the skin tone here. Here the skin tone makes her look sad. Smile looks forced. This is great, really. It's doing a better job of getting the skin tones correct. I really didn't think that the Z6 skin tones could be improved upon. It is way ahead of what Canon is producing right now, what Sony has been able to produce so far, and definitely even better than Fuji. Fuji is really good, but it's better than Z6 is better than Fuji. I did not think the Z6 can be improved upon and they can push it to this level. She's close to 50, and her skin is definitely not the best skin you will ever see. But imagine you're shooting someone, a gorgeous, good-looking girl in her early 20s maybe, and imagine this difference is going to be that much more exaggerated. So let's look at another picture now. She's about 17 years old. She's got beautiful, flawless skin. Look at the skin's texture. Really good, flawless, beautiful skin, beautiful eyes. There's a bit of color on her eyes as well. Now can you guess which one is which? Again, Z2 is on your right. Now the interesting thing is that on this picture, I actually like the picture that has come out of the Z6 because, and mind this, because it's warmer, and you see the skin tone is how it is reproduced. It's a bit warmer. What I mean by the yellow that I was talking about, in this scenario, when bright light, a young girl, sort of a vibrant scenario, the yellow is somehow complementing the skin here. But as you can see, the Z6II renders the same skin in the same sort of light, renders the skin a bit cooler. The overall rendition is cooler on the Z6II, and I see that everywhere. I talked about how in the other images I didn't see the yellow and how I saw a bit more pinkish output. You can see that here as well, especially in the nose area. Let me zoom in more. You can see how in the nose area, right, there's a bit more pinkish tone and there's a bit more yellow in this area. But I think for her skin, this yellow is really complementing her look, her entire sort of complexion. And in case of the Z6II, I think it's doing a great job again, but it's cooler. Now it's a matter of preference. I still think overall, not carrying so much yellow in the skin tone is better. You will see the yellow is not muddying the detail of her eyes, but here you can see, because of the yellow cast, because of the yellow and sort of green cast, the similar colored details of the white part of the eyes, it's too much. I'm really pixel peeping here, but that sort of, that difference between two colors, that's less visible. The finer color details are more visible on the Z6II. Now one more time, let's have a look at a couple of my pictures again, and in this case it's a bit different because we're shooting at auto white with auto white balance too, where the camera actually keeps the overall warm tones of the scene. And you can see both the camera outputs. This is Z6II again on the right side, so you can see both cameras are outputting warmer images here. But again, you can see comparatively the Z6II is cooler, but the way it is cooler is that it reduces, it's minus the yellow and the green that I see here. Now you might think that why am I repeating green again and again? I can see green when I'm editing. I can see green on the skin tone when I'm editing. And most Nikon cameras tend to have sort of a bit of green on the skin, and quite famously so on the Nikon D750. So one more time, you can see the difference. You can see how the lips look. You can see how the skin looks on the forehead here. Let me just... Now let me just show you a few pictures from both the cameras. This is Z6II. This is again Z6II. This is Z6II again. This is the Z6. 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 So mind you guys, the Z6 is still awesome. Look at this picture. I mean, The difference is only visible when you really compare uh, both the cameras side by side. Otherwise, the Z6 is, I mean, I most of the times when I go out, I really take off the Z6, frankly, because I don't know, I just want to use the Z6II, but less because it's new. I will keep it new. Z6 one more time. Beautiful picture, beautiful output. Really nice. I like highs here. Z6II, Z6 here. Z6II. Tack sharp. This is with the 35mm. So, in short, the Z6 produces great pictures. It's difficult to fault a Z6 in terms of color production and color reproduction and skin tone. A lot of people have actually come out and lauded the camera for its beautiful skin tones. Having said that, the Z6II definitely improves on the Z6. The white balance overall tends to be cooler in any situation. The skin has less yellow on it, less green tinge on it. You see a kind of red that tends towards orange. The reds are more pleasant. I'm not sure whether the reds are accurate reds. I don't have a color chart to tell you that, but I think the reds are sort of engineered to be more pleasant to the eye. They tend toward orange a little bit without becoming orange. And at the same time, I find that the yellows are more vibrant. And I think overall, if you are to sort of use the white balance setting where it keeps the overall warmth of the scene, I think you're going to get a slightly more balanced look out of the picture. Every time you use that white balance, I think you're going to get extremely yellowed out sort of look that you at times tend to get on the Z6. I'm not saying that's a problem on the Z6, it's a matter of a few sliders, but like I said before, you have to sort of, I had to sort of take care of the orange tone that affects the skin directly. I had to sort of push it towards the left on Lightroom and reduce the orange, the yellow tint, and then do the rest of the work. So I think I don't have to do that anymore. At the same time, for a lot of people who think that they don't like the pink tone a lot on their skin, you might have to sort of dial that down a bit. Overall, it's a definite improvement. So it's not been a very pointed conversation, but I think overall you get a sense of how the Z6II is a definite improvement over the Z6. And I think this improvement for the ones who are looking to get the best that's out there right now, I think the Z6II is without a doubt the best camera for colors, without any doubt. It is not the Fuji system, it is not the Canons, it is not the Sonys, definitely not. And like a lot of people have told you before, the Z cameras can give you picture quality which is very close to the medium format cameras. So please go out and enjoy your Z6II. It's a brilliant camera. Capture the sunsets. I'm going to come back to you with a few street shoots that I've done with the Z6 and the Z6II, and I think you're going to like it in the next episode. So stay tuned, please subscribe, and see you soon.